This is the M3, a micro mini message to encourage, to inspire, and to ponder. You know, as I talk to other Christian leaders and other pastors in the last year, and we talk about the influences upon our life and why we're in ministry and why we do ministry the way we do, I've noticed that this common pattern that seems to be taking place in our conversations. And those conversations begin with the phrase, I know I shouldn't say this, or I can't say this anymore, but. And what they say but about is this reality of the last year the church has experienced the fall, if you will, of Bill Hybels from leadership in Willow Creek. A man, because of his vision and his leadership, literally, I think conservatively really, hundreds of thousands of people have come to faith in Jesus Christ. He's had a tremendous impact. And it's not even just that the teachings that he taught. There can be a tendency when these types of things happen, when a leader falls, when we find about sexual infidelity, when we find out about abuse of staff and all the things that have come about, we tend to want to throw out everything. And it's not that the teachings that came out of Willow Creek and the Global Leadership Summit were somehow wrong. They've had a tremendous impact and really have changed lives. And quite literally, hundreds of thousands of people have become followers of Christ. But we find ourselves in this position when a leader falls, that all those things, those resources, all that's been generated, all the culture and the character, everything suddenly becomes something we can't use. And so I'm standing here buying just stuff off our bookshelves here at Hope. Thousands of dollars worth of resources we can't use anymore because of a leader's failure. This really isn't about Bill Hybels, and this isn't about picking on some leader, but this is about you and I, and about us processing our own spiritual lives and realizing that those of us who are in positions of leadership, those who lead churches, those who lead organizations, we have a greater responsibility, and people should hold us to that responsibility. It's easy, and we like to sometimes say, I'm not going to expect anything of a leader that I wouldn't expect of myself. And while it sounds nice and it sounds generous, it's false. We really should expect more of our leaders, of those in our government, of those who lead our church and organizations, because the stakes are greater, and the stakes of failure are so much greater, and the consequences of that failure. And so the challenge for us today, and it's really not even just for those of us that lead, it's for all of us who call ourselves Christian, to live lives that are worthy of the gospel, to live lives that seek out the righteousness of God, to live lives that set an example for others. Because, the world should, and those outside the church should hold us to a higher standard. They should expect more of us, and we should live up to it, because we are the church, and we are ones who call ourselves Christians. We are followers of Christ. I had a boss who used to say all the time, when in doubt, do the right thing. Because we are Christian, we have an obligation to do the right thing, even when it's hard. To live lives worthy of the gospel, to live lives that demonstrate love, of purity, and to each of us together to see the kingdom of God and live lives of righteousness. Have a great week. Thanks for watching and for listening, and hope to see you on Sunday. Thank you for listening to this week's M3. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast player. You might also enjoy our blog, The Milk Can, online at jumpingjersey.org. Have a great week.